Why aren't my earbuds making any noise, he said, never having plugged them in. Alright, where are we? Hey, what's this one called? Journal? Okay. I couldn't remember what the one key shortcut was for this one. Journal makes sense. It's not late enough. Oh, right. I guess it's time. What's it like in here now? Oh my gooses. Okay. All right, Suna. What have we got?
Yes, what is it?
How's the project going? I see that your neighbors moved in, but all I hear is Enotic dance music. What? She leans closer, eyes knitted together in a puzzled expression. What did you say? You can barely hear her over the thumping bass of Enotic dance music. I said, how's the project going? I can't hear you. The music is too loud, she shouts, pointing at the enormous speaker. How's the project? Oh, the project! Huh, it's not going well. Her face lights up for a moment before she gives you an exaggerated head shake. Why? Well, there's that guy. She points at Egghead, who's raving behind his turntables, finally. Turntable. Okay, there are two. I concede. On a brightly lit stage. I need him to plug a 3.5 cable into the auxiliary input so I can route the audio signal through the mixer into the speakers. Sorry, can you... Egghead! 3.5 cable into the auxiliary input, okay? Why don't you ask him? He doesn't listen to me. He only ever seems to care about hardcore and Yokokata, a place to be, apparently. I'll speak to him, see what I can do. Thanks. Maybe you can get through his magic rhymes. She does jazz hands to mock him. Let me know how it goes. Hey, Egg. What do you mean, file not found?
Glory in church! The place to be! Make some noise, my church people!
Large speakers are set up behind the young man, blasting a familiar song. Vibrations thump through your blue soul. The music sounds much better in the church. A hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Caslan, tangled in its branches. Something bronze flutters in the wind. I already did that. He stands on stage behind a table, nodding along to the music and waving his hand in the air. In front of him, the audio mixer, one reel spinning. The other reel deck is empty. Cables run hither and thither. On one side, you see an auxiliary line in with... Uh-oh. How do you like it in the church? Here! Back on the case, no disgrace! Bring it down to party place! He pumps his fist in the air. The first page of the second chapter! His voice echoes all around the grand hall. Hey, can you route Suna's speaker through your speakers? To the mega! Yeah! I can route it through the auxiliary. What kind of a cable does she use? 3.5 or 4.5? 3.5. She uses 3.5. Yeah. The auxiliary line in is 4.5 millimeter. Those two don't mix. Oh no. We're going to be in this church forever. Don't worry, I have an adapter for it right here. He searches for the cable on the ground and picks it up, looking at the jack. Hang on, this is a 4.5. We're all good, people. With a grin, he sticks the plug into the auxiliary line in. You hear a satisfying click. Oh, thank God. Adapters noticeably degrade the sound quality. Great, someone got through to him. Okay, let's get it all set up. Can we turn the music off, please? Egg? Everybody, don't panic. I'm going to turn off the Arno for just a sec. The young man shouts as he clicks a switch on the mixer. For a special scheduled event, the Arno will be back, but we're doing something else for one moment. Alright, go tell her that Egghead is ready to rave to her tunes. And then I'll turn off the music. Okay.
Yes, what is it?
Alright, you can now unmute your speakers. Okay, but do Do you think you can ask him to turn down the volume a little bit, just in case? She seems hesitant, her eyes still fixed on Egghead. Maximum! Shouts Egghead, a great smile still adorning his face, larger than a red dwarf star. Maximum is the only way! Hello, I am Maximum Damage. I know, I know it is, but could you please turn it down just this instance, just this one time? Maximum is not the only way, okay? Pump it to the brick, pump it to the hard master. There is no other way. Glue style. Oh, there is literally no other way. The slider is glued to the maximum. See? He pumps it to the hard master. He's hopeless. I think what he's trying to say is the volume button is stuck on max. Of course it is. She shrugs, consigned to her fate. Yeah! Permanent enlightenment! A ray of sound! Never mind then. Let's get on with our project. I'm going to unmute the speakers on a count of 5. Everyone ready? Egghead pumps his hand up in the air, waiting for the beat to drop. On, ready? Ready. I'm ready if you two are, detectives. Kim nods stoically. Not so stoically. His hand is on his holster. Oh boy. Suddenly your palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms spaghetti. The church seems cold and large somehow, and you keep on forgetting. There's tightness in your chest, anxiety spaghetti. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mute. Disengage. She lifts her hand from the keyboard. Complete silence fills the room. No wind outside. No waves. No floorboards creaking. Total, continuous silence. This is unnatural. The woman looks around. In the silence, you see dust move on the floorboards. The driver of the speaker vibrates in the air and then stops. Plasterwork begins to crumble down the walls. In the silence, a low hum starts creeping up your spine. It's a song inside you, not in the speakers, not in the room. A great bass sigh in the basement of your mind. Slowly it builds until the air around you starts to vibrate. It's out there now, in the world, made manifest. It will devour everything. The floorboards, the glass, the streets and the people. Nothing will remain. Guys, what's going on? There's alarm in the man's voice as he steps back to scan the surroundings. A slight rattle like crystal clattering in the cupboard fills the air, joining the choir. It's getting louder, said Noid, his eyes riveted on the strange circle of water basins. In the basins, the water looks like it's boiling. Hosiana, Mother of Mega! You hear Egghead yell, then something else, but his voice is growing faint. In his mind, a tidal wave approaching from afar, swallowing entire coastlines on its way. Salvation. He's peaking. The worst high he's ever been on. I've never heard anything this hardcore in my life. The beauty and the beat! The future of dance! Planetary! Galactic? No, Egg, it's the window! The glass shards around Dolores Day's vacant heart appear to be vibrating from the sound. It almost looks like she's alive. In the corner of your eye, the lieutenant steps aside cautiously, his eyes searching for a possible evacuation route. The window is going to come down. No, the roof! She looks up, a screech fills the air and a scream of wooden nails. The pillars of the church twist and creak above and around you. Cracks appear on the stained glass window. Cracks run up the wooden pillars in the dark. Come down to us, love! Below it all, the bass grows like the jaws of a giant compressor gnawing on metal and wood. It does not sound benevolent at all. It's shaking the building's foundations. The floor twists. A great pulse arises in your flesh. That's it. I'm muting it. Oh, I want to dance with somebody. Oh, I want to feel the heat with somebody. Shit, it doesn't stop. The woman is furiously pressing down on her keyboard, but the sound doesn't stop. Estelle, have you Yes, I've turned it off, she yells, holding the contact mic in her hand. Andre, pull the compressor! Compressor, this place is gonna come down! Fuck! I can't shut it up, the signal's passed! It's not in here, it's... This is it. A great roar, the vault of the roof twists above you, glass shatters somewhere near the door. It's coming down, it's coming down, it's coming down. Egghead. Don't stop it. But then it stops. Totally and utterly. As if there never was a sound. Only your ears still ring from the shock. Everybody is staring at Egghead, holding one tangling cable in his hand, a black 3-pin connector. Egg. I pulled the plug. It was getting too hardcore. You did good, Egg. Andre breathes a sigh of relief and inspects the window. Most of the place seems to be intact. Fucking hell. Programmer lady, tell me you were recording that. 4 years, she whispers. 22 people, million of real. All that time? This is what we were up against? Just erased it. Sulislaw is not going to believe this. Her lip trembles. Yeah, but did you record it, though? It was dope. I think we can use it. Yes, Andre. She composes herself, wipes the dust off her sweater, and rests her hands on the keyboard. I recorded it. Damn, I need to send some letters now. Thank you all for doing this. Eggman, you too. And you, officer. I don't know what we've discovered, but I know what it sounds like now. That's a start. What was that? I've never heard anything like it. It was mathematical information from the anomaly presented as a waveform. That's what it technically, theoretic. She shakes her head. I have no idea. I've never even heard of anything like this. Her voice seems muffled in the silent church. It's your ears adjusting after the exposure. Kim, did you hear that? It was very hard not to. I think you're right. There is something going on here, and you need to be very careful with it. I promise, officer, we will not play it again. You're gonna write Sulislaw? Yes, our lead designer, and maybe some of the producers too. And some of the writers, if they're sober enough to open a transmission. They need to hear that it wasn't her fault, or theirs for that matter. They need to hear about this. Don't worry, I won't send the recording, although I doubt they have the speakers to produce the frequency anyway. What happens now? Are you going to stay here? I am going to stay here with these lunatics, send letters, maybe meet Sulislaw, also devise further measurements. I want you to know that that's totally chill with us. I don't care. But thank you anyway. That's the best she can manage for Andre. It's quite a lot in truth. For her, at least. Now, I have a theory to come up with. Some kind of preliminary explanation to all this, or the letter will sound like I've lost my mind. Yes, and we have to get back to stabilizing Martinet. He breathes out, trying to shake off the tension, instead of demolishing it with loud bass sound of unknown origins. Some tiny, hard thing lets go in your stomach. You're still alive. You have an explanation for all this. Somewhere deep in you, you know. The person you were knows. Logic, huh? I know I have logic. Not that, but the other shirt. I'm already wearing the other shirt. That's in psych. There's something other... Yeah, that shouldn't give logic but does. It's illogical to give logic. Right, that was my thought. That's another hat. Okay. Good, I don't have to wear it.
Yes, what is it?
That's a big difference. let's just make it even more likely. That only zaps authority.
Yes, what is it?
You don't have to. You already know. You already have. A long time ago. How? These thoughts formed in you somewhere. In a long forgotten discussion. Behind a kitchen table. In the evening light. Maybe at around 3 a.m. at a Denny's. Drinking coffee and smoking. With a friend. Maybe at a Denny's. Possibly a Waffle House. And a woman. She was there too. Her hair smelled of shampoo, and she was smoking. Suna, it's the origin point of the pail. What? The swallow. That's how it starts. It's baby pale. But she looks up and there's fear in her eyes as she considers the possibility. But the pail isn't here. We're thousands of kilometers from the edge. That comforts her. No, look up. We are 20 meters from the very edge. She looks up into the darkness under the knob, then back at you. You have her full, undivided attention. The lieutenant's too. He takes his glasses off. The pail is only an effect, a transition between the world and that. Then what is that? It's nothing. No, it's less than nothing. No, it's less than nothing. The final resting state for reality. Imagine if all this never was. Then the pail is simply curdling milk. But the milk, it clearly hasn't started curdling yet. We are here, and the pail is not. One day when it's larger, it will be. I understand. A theory of the pail where instead of an outer ocean it metastasizes like a cancer rainbow, erupting in points inside the world. This is one of those places. According to this, how long? Until it starts swallowing? It's already started. It started with sound and information, causing data losses in the East Insulindian front. Have you considered why it is formed in a church? And also when or how it might start growing, or if it has other effects in addition to sound and data? An intellectual hunger fills her now, casting the fear aside. I also have a question since we are piling them on. I'm not doubting you. I'm simply curious as to how a detective of the RCM. It didn't form in a church. The church formed around it. Of course. A pinewood sarcophagus or a containment facility of some kind, built by the first settlers. Yes, acting on an instinctual level, or religious practices we've forgotten. I have considered the same. The bad news is there were 7 pinewood churches built in the first decade of Revachol settlement. Most of them were burnt down during the Revolution or repurposed before during the suzerain. I'm not saying all of them have one in them, but some of them might. A black grain hanging in the air. Wait, what does this mean about Tiago? Oh no. All the failure in Martinet, in the Duke commercial area. You think the presence of that puncture has somehow influenced the outcome of events here? Even software developed? No, she already made up her mind when she heard it. Some kind of great and uncaring force had to play a part. It wasn't only them. I mean, even the revolution was defeated here. This is a kind of entropanetic history. I told the producers we need to go and move to a normal office building with amenities and no ice bear. But no, the artists like the milieu. The writers like the history. I told them. I should let the people still working in there know about this. They might be affected. You mean Plaisance and the dice maker? There was almost no one left when we packed up. I don't think Plaisance would survive this knowledge. I really don't. Then go tell the dice maker. I think I've had this thought before. That's how I know. An amateur anthroponetic police officer. I'd like to say I've heard stranger things, but I'm not sure. This is a hell of a guess, however. Well worded, I might add. Yes, it's very interesting, but I wouldn't say you know. This is a guess. One that's going to have to be proved by anthroponetic scientists. One day all the world is going to be like that 2mm hole. She falls silent. The wind blows in through the hole in the stained glass window, cold and moist. I'm going to leave that out, but the rest? Some of this I can use to start to explain this to the rest of the team. Maybe I'll sound mad, but... Ma'am, you will certainly sound mad. One more thing. Maybe a club for anodic music isn't the worst thing you can erect around this particular point in space. Maybe this club is the only thing keeping this place and the rest of reality together. I wouldn't go so far as to, "Hey-ah! Once the light is on in the universe, it will never go out!" Thank you, Egghead. Let's leave it at that, shall we? We have unanthroponetic detection to perform in this district. I have one mystery that still needs solving. The radio ghost in the doomed commercial area's electronic doorbell. The creepy woman! We were wondering about that when we worked there, but I had completely forgotten about it ever since. It must be anthroponetic crosstalk, the ones you get in radios and long-distance calls. Now it makes sense with Pale right on the doorstep. Incredible. This would also explain why we get it on the police radio all the time. Anthroponetic crosstalk? It's quite common, actually. When the signal gets routed through the Pale, all kinds of irregularities take place. You may hear snippets of someone else's conversation, or the voice of your former lover, or an echo of an event that took place 100 years ago. Pale is a shroud of memories, and it doesn't distinguish to whom those memories belong to. You could hear anything. That makes sense. Thank you for explaining that to me. Anytime. Wow. That's a lot of stuff. I don't know what you're writing in, but that doesn't seem like it makes a full statement.
It's a paw! Yeah!
Wow, that was a crazy sound we heard before. Also, don't eat the poor. Yeah, it was awesome and scary. Very hardcore. His voice booms through the chamber, then gets silent. Too hardcore, in fact. I couldn't control it. At all. What happened? It sucked up all the air in the mix until it is the only thing left. Starts compressing itself and everything around it. Completely fills up the headspace. Extreme. You mean Kiwami? Inside your chest. The heart beats with the after effects of the pulse. Imagine if you could harness that power, making it pulse. Hey, what if this is the answer to Van Eyck's jam? We could use the sound for the bass. Oh, but how? His puzzled face turns into a wicked grin. What do we have around here to achieve some sort of parallel processing? I don't think I can get enough. We've been over this before. All I have for interfacing are the big gloves. And they're good.
It's a paw! Yeah! Paw!
Well, I've got two points. We're gonna deal with one or two things at a time.
You got us in, cop. I can't believe you got us in.
He looks around the hall, examining the carpentry, with wonder in his sharp eyes.
I don't know if you've noticed this about me. I'm a little suspicious of authority, but you really came through for the hardcore underground.
Well, good, because I have like -1 authority.
Yes, you really came through for the hardcore underground. How come?
He spreads his arms, looking at the speed freak setting up shop. Andre is busy cutting up some slightly less lame, but still ungainly shapes on the church floor, sweating profusely. Estelle is using her contact mic to listen to a tree. underwater. The one with the large head is blasting the dance track on repeat while the stained glass window behind him is rattling from the base. Sire, the tent was a security risk, and in here, sanctuary. 'Twas only noble of you. Better here than in that tent, Kim. It wasn't safe. The lieutenant keeps it laconic. Noid, what do you think about the church? It's a miracle of carpentry. Dead bodies carved into total shapes. Now it can be something more. He rubs his hands together. How old do you think this church is? Over 300 years? That's right. The first settlers built it here, plus 6 more like it. I don't know when I became from... maybe New York? Yeah, I don't know. This is a bad stereotype accent, but I'm gonna stick with it. On the coast here was one of the first things they did. Must have been really scared of something. But I understand. Alone on an uninhabited archipelago, forced to face themselves and nature? Pre-industrial quantities of solitude. The sea. Perhaps something more fundamental. He means something paranatural. He must. I would want to build a safe place for myself and my own as well. You mean the sound anomaly? Maybe. Maybe they were unable to face the nature of the world. Perishing.
Yo, man, what's on your mind?
What style is this church built in? A cop who's into building critique? Okay then, this is folk DeLoreanism, lawmonger. It's a subset of early DeLorean architecture. I'm not just a cop, I'm an art cop. Hard of core. And what is DeLorean architecture like? Total. Everything between an ancient concrete cathedral and a glass cube is DeLoreanism. This is just a homespun version of it. Folksy stuff, early mass production. They made thousands like this. Does that help you out? What was a DeLorean building look like? Like that woman there. I was not expecting my laundry to be audible. It's a little embarrassing. Vertical, thin, white, a false image of grandeur. The source of the system is up there. You're at the bottom. They really dug that power vertical. Like to show off large and intricate structures, arches, spires. Put you down with them. They were really into painting everything white too. Virginal shit, you know? Marriage shit. Virtue and tyranny. This church isn't painted white, far as I can tell. Stands to reason it used to be, on the outside, before the sea wind took all the paint off. Year after year, flake after flake, whitewashed clean, then covered in green moss. Slowly peeled by the wind. Your skin crawls from the sensation as you look around. What do you mean by dead bodies? Trees, of course. Dead bodies of perennial plants. Sigma functions have left this place. It's a good thing we came along. The spiritual collapse has been total. Spiritual collapse? I saw some piglets sucking their dead mother. Have you heard this one, Cop Man? After a short while, they shuddered, went away. They had sensed that she could no longer see them, and she wasn't like them anymore. What they loved in their mother wasn't her body, but whatever it was that made her body live. End of quote. This is a high-quality carcass. The power of anotic beats and hard bass is needed to reanimate it. Where's that quote even from? A Serace man who lived a long time ago. An ancient hardcore brother. So religion has stopped being hardcore? It never was. A 3,000-year-old regime of history built by hundreds of generations of self-appointed intellectuals. It's false to the core. The way he says it, the false in false core is invested with 20 kilotons of disgust. Well, you guys said the Ecclesiasts were all about love and hardcore. I only said unity. One word. Figures of authority will always misquote you. He points to his friends. Andre doesn't care about the Ecclesiasts. He just wants the operation to move smoothly. And Egg is a demi-beast. You shouldn't listen to what people say. You should listen to what they are. And you propose dance music will supplant this system? Anodic dance music. Regular dance music wasn't hot enough. And yeah, I do. You know what this kind of stuff goes well with? Don't you have to be on drugs for that, no? Only a little. Nope, not cool. All large human gatherings are narcotic. Ask any such undertaking in history. This included. He nods towards a human-shaped pillar nearby. Chemistry. is true to its word. There is a difference between narcotics and group elation. One kills you, the other does not. The supercharged humanism that the inocentric system has been feeding us on giant city squares, that's not a drug. The sugar and wheat it feeds us is healthy? Forget it. It would become an imbecilic discussion. You two continue. It's more hardcore that way. Thank you, Kim. How do you like the glasswork? I don't. Fucker giving me the evil eye. I'm getting some real negative vibes from her, too. No wonder. We have to get rid of it, dismantle it. Can't dance with a giant mass murderer looking at you. Not a good look for the club. Mellow, man, mellow. No one's a mass murderer. This is a house of love. Mass murder on the floor! Oh boy. Would you say she was human? Ha! I like this question, cop man. The young man stretches his rib cage made of suspenders. She did not live the life of a human. She lived like someone who was playing a game. The life of an operator. That's not the life that humans live. She was adored. Humans aren't. I don't know about you, but they hate me. And they do not think I'm innocent. Or some shit like that. Yeah, they hate this too. Well, they loved her. They put all their love in her and forgot about all the rest of us. The young man lets go of his suspenders and they hit his chest with a slap. I do feel there is something terrifying about her. There is. She is a potty repellent and must be taken down before we can begin partying in here. That's not it. It's something more. Something closer to your skin. Say nothing. Stare grimly into the distance. The speed freak looks the same way. It is dark there in the back of the church. For a moment, the music echoes strangely. I know, but I can't get up to... Whatever. It's only going to go off like 5 more times, but maybe only 2 of them in this recording? But she's pretty. She invented the beauty you're feeling. She and her glass cutters and iconograph... I don't know how you would parse that. Iconographers? Because iconography? Iconographers? There we go. Iconographers. You see it the standard, all right? Then you meet it. It's effective like that. But it is also very softcore. That so-called beauty of hers. It's anything but softcore. It's terrifying. Mm-hmm. You may be onto something, Copper Man. She's got those mass murdering hips. You got a body like a battle axe. No. Nah. Then it seems I like it soft. You wouldn't be the first. Millions liked her. She's got those mass murdering lips. Alright, I'm done talking about her. I don't want to think about her anymore. What a strange choice of words. Caustic, overflowing with negativity. That can't be healthy. What's happening here? Why do you keep coming back to this window? I don't know. Well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't come back to this anymore. Stop talking about it, please. No, let's talk about it again. Alright, no, I'm done talking about her. Okay. How are you settling in? Hard to say, cop man. Signs in here are distinctly wild. Gonna take a while before everything's properly synced. I did get to talk to the crab man, though. You mean Tiago? Anyway, he's been giving me kind of a psychic rundown of the place. Dude's seen some crazy shit. But he's actually a lot like us. You mean all his mother... No, I'm just gonna say, what do you mean? The man picks up on stuff, and he knows a lot about the church. I got a lot to learn from him. Good thing you didn't squash him. I doubt I could have. What did Tiago tell you about the church? He's been here lurking for a while. He's experienced things. Things that give off bad signs. As far as we can tell, the Ubis built this place about 380 years ago as a sarcophagus. You mean there are dead bodies here? No, not like a literal sarcophagus. I'm just being metaphorical. What's it for? Encasement, confinement of something they were afraid of. Something new and unheard of on the Isola. He looks up into the darkness beyond the beams. I think that's what the crab man is experiencing when he climbs around upstairs. Like, this is some old world shit the Ubies had heard about, and thought the best way to deal with it was to build a church. Surrounding it, containing it. Contain what? I don't know, and it's not something they properly understood either. What it does. But it is what this Suna person is looking for and trying to measure. He nods towards the woman. It'll be fruitless, though. She won't be able to measure it. People like that always want to measure everything. All these things they really can't. The wood creaks as a gale goes by outside. Dust particles fall through the darkness, settling down on the age-bleached floorboards. The structure does not feel particularly durable. Yeah, what about the building? No, it's pretty fucking unsound if you ask me. They should have built a club for Anodic music around it instead. Anodic music will definitely contain whatever we're dealing with. And if it can't, well... What makes you think Suna's gonna fail? It seems to be the trend around here, don't it? You can't measure shit like this. It's not, like, with substance. What about the doomed commercial area? Is that the same thing the Ubies were trying to contain? Like a concentric ring spreading out? The struggling villages? And that is what caused the communards to fail in defending the beachhead. Yeah. A lot of failure has gone down around here. You think there's any merit to the theory? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. It's not a thing we can answer, cop man. Even I have limits. I'm a limited psi person. Well, if it's without substance, I guess there's nothing to worry about. Maybe you can figure things out, cop man. I think we got on a good level here. The signs is syncing up. What's with the clothes? They're hardcore. That's it. They're just clothes. They look outlandish. No, these are boring, normal, hardcore clothes. That's outlandish, pointing to your necktie. What's so outlandish about it? It looks like you're trying to hang yourself with it. Well, shortly before the game began, so large too. So many different patterns. It's crazy, man. I like it. You suddenly, gosh darn it, realize the patience and respect this speed freak has shown you is partly because of your style. He's probably not like that with everyone. Respect to the man! Why are you so suspicious about everything? Suspicious people are esoteric people. We don't go around spilling everything to Johnny Law. They don't call me Noid for nothing. It took us setting out for this whole enterprise to get our signs synced. Why are you called Noid anyway? It's short for paranoid. Duh. What good is being suspicious? A reasonable question. Say I get hurt. I want to make sure it never happens again. So I analyze the situation. Exercise caution. Caution is suspicion. What are you suspicious of? It'd be easy to list stuff I'm not suspicious of. I'm not suspicious of sound and color. Mechanics and chemistry also have a trueness about them. Most anything else deceives. Wants to steal your life away. This is a good, dangerous line of questioning. You should prod him on. Now, what are the most specific things? I don't have a top 10 list of things I'm most suspicious of, but if I had one, the left-right complex would be number 1. Number 2 would be their sole accomplishment, the pig-wheat paradigm. Something is off here. You think it should be the other way around. Don't you mean the left-right paradigm and the pig-wheat complex? Nope. Politics is an inner complex of daily corruption and inane think pieces. The real paradigm is economic and it concerns pig and wheat. Is that like guns and butter? This is where the innovation happens. It's only a theory, but I suspect they're breeding a pig-wheat hybrid, probably in Grad. What's suspicious about production of pork and wheat? It's our only shit. We should make better use of not being animals or cereal grain ourselves. Hey, having enough food could be a precursor for greater things. Yeah, having enough mood is a means to an end, but the left never talks about the end, only the means. Caps are likewise suckers, constantly sleepless in worry. What's so bad about animals? Animals are cute. Nothing. Animals are cool guys. I like animals too, but that doesn't mean I have to be one myself. Yeah, it's our only shit and we fucking suck at it. Correct. He can't help but doubt your sincerity in this matter. There's no other way. You're a police officer. Look, don't assume I like the status quo just because I'm a cop. Precisely. The status quo doesn't need to be loved. Tell me more about the left-right business. I prefer not to. Both ask the wrong questions. Any spark of light from either one is accidental. Their combined movement's only concern is producing enough pig and wheat for everyone. The end goal of humanity. The original mistake was assuming that words have more being than bodies. That's what led us astray, far from our true lives. But we may yet find a way back. Whatever this true life is, you feel it's the real centerpiece of his mythology. Does this mean you are mentally ill? Mental illness is a term the powers use to homogenize people. I think I don't reach mental illness. I am merely politically ill. A suspicious element. Well, alright. That was certainly stimulating. I want to ask about something else. What would this true life be like? A life is true if it's free from fear and internal division amongst oneself and others. Mankind has seeds of greatness in it. A germinal will come, a return to trueness. It will be hardcore. How'd you go out returning to it? Beats and bright lights to shatter falsehoods. Nerve impulses for the collective body. We are much alike in basic structure. A hard enough beat would awaken everyone to a truer calling. In unity. Just like that, the speed freak is right in your face, his eyes burning. His comrades look on worriedly. The young man is dead serious about this. Rejection of the left-right axis. Emphasis on unity, appreciation of some primordial mode of being? What does that remind you of? Nationalism, militarism, racism, and emphasis on a leader character are totally absent in hardcore. The words echo through the church majestically. No. Fair enough, just making an observation. He picks up a wrench and scratches his head with it, unaroused by fascism. Yeah, me too. Except not... I'm not even going to qualify that because there's no coming back after heading down that rabbit hole. So you're advocating a noise-based society? Many non-Occidental cultures share a beat at their heart. Thus, they are closer to true hardcore life. There've just never been enough of them, and they had to rely on some extremely basic percussion. Huh. Suddenly, I want to go see a drum circle. You keep mentioning hardcore. What does it mean to you? Utmost dedication. Thoughts from the spinal cord. It's a potent superlative as well. The term also signifies certain varieties of pornography that depict penetration, just so you know. Egghead actually has a better concept of the hardcore. He just really likes saying hardcore. Hardcore! His friend shouts from behind his mix table with a smile surpassing your own in wideness, a total moon face, and eyes full of naive wonderment. That was vague. Maybe you're being too specific about it. Try consulting with your spinal cord. Alright, let's change the subject. Can I get that? Alright, concept. I really don't think I have it in me. Alright, blue concept. I really thought I had more stuff for that. Alright, where's my conceptualization? Is there anything lowering it? There is not.
Yo, man, what's on your mind?
So we're at 28. Another point would put me to 42. That's worth doing. Burning all my health here, though.
Yo, man, what's on your mind?
Oh! Maybe I can't math. Alright, 58. Or... is this finally working properly and it only gives me... Wait, what? I'm gonna pretend I understand and move on.
Yo, man, what's on your mind?
Dedicated, hyperactive, unified. You will have to add something of your own to understand this list of loosely formed qualities. It's called hardcore. You need your own entry. Make it. Test your limits. Surpass them. Dance till you drop. Dance till you die if you must. Jumping around, as this sort of music requires, is actually a taxing physical activity and should be dignified with a sports suit. I'm thinking of wearing sports apparel as my hardcore getup to maximize the mobility of my limbs. We might as well make it complete with a whistle then. Is that what I wanted to get out of that? Hardcore aesthetic. Not only have you internalized the hardcore aesthetic, you've also contributed to it. How hardcore could you possibly become? Low-core people come around to correct your typos. It is hardcore with a capital here, hardcore uncapitalized with a hyphen there, hardcore in a third instance. What's going on? Those aren't typos, man. That's how core hardness works. If you don't know hardcore from our happy hardcore, what the fuck are we even talking about? Very tempted. Cleaning out the rooms. What is cleaning out the rooms is a lot of good stuff. Someone's been walking around in your dreams lately, looking for something, tidying up, rearranging, storing away all the unrealized dreams, putting old pains in boxes. The worst nightmares have settled down for a while. A spot of light on the bedroom door after the dark. The fluttering of eyelids in the spring sun. A thought that arises only to disappear again. And yet there's a pattern emerging. Oh goodness, I have run over. I'm gonna take a break here. Well, yeah, I'm gonna take a break here and go shut the dryer up.